Good morning. It is January 18th, 2021, and it was a brisk 29 degrees here in Zone 9A in Jacksonville, Florida this morning. So much for not having any freezes. We've gotten down to 29 maybe one or two times this entire winter, and other than that, it's been pretty warm. Lows in maybe like the 40s. And then, hot throughout the day. So yesterday I was able to go out and do some shopping for my the upcoming gardening season, which we have already started filling up the greenhouses for. And I was able to pick up some seeds and some other things that we need to get everything underway. And I wanted to share with you in this video what we picked up from Lowe's Garden Center. And in a later video I'll be showing you garden supplies that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, as well as some seeds that I picked up from Dollar Tree. So I will get right into it. The first thing I'll go over is the seeds that I got from Lowe's, and I'll start with the flower seeds. And the first one is going to be a Dwarf Mix Dahlia. This is a 50-day seed, and I have actually grown these dahlias from seed before without any problem, and they produce a mix of dahlia flowers. And then the next one is going to be a zinnia, and this is the giant double mixed color zinnia, and this says it's 35 days to bloom. And then I purchased, moving on to the greens and lettuces, two different Barry Morris mesclun mix. One of them says organic, and one of them is just normal. And they actually have different things inside each package, even though it's labeled as the same thing. It says Gourmet Greens Mixture, but the organic packet has or contains lettuce and mustard greens, mustard mibuna and tender green, along with baby lettuce Danielle, oak leaf royal, a red salad bowl, green salad bowl, red tango, and Lola Rosa darkness. And then the regular gourmet green mix comes with arugula, endive, red kale, red and green romaine, salad bowl, and Lola Rosa. So just a fun mixture of greens that I can grow all together in one bed. And then the next Barry Morris that I got is a So Easy pelleted basil, and this is called the Culinary Blend. And this one is contains Genovese basil, Corsican lemon, which I've never heard of, lime basil, and that's all it lists here. So that is the Culinary Blend basil that I got, which is a pelleted seed. And then the next one I got is a couple of Asian greens. I got the Michihili, I don't know how you pronounce that, cabbage, but it is a 70-day harvest Chinese green. And then I got the Toi Choy Pak Choi, which is a 30-day, and it listed as being good for containers. So I've been growing pak choi and bok choy this year. I've been growing it for the last couple of years, and it is very tasty. It's one of the most tasty greens that I've discovered. And then the next one I got is the purple plum radish. And out in my garden right now, I'm growing the purple plum radish from Haas Tools, which did very well and was a beautiful, well-producing radish for me as far as producing large purple bulbs. And this is a 25-day to harvest. And then we will get finally into the cucumbers, and I just picked up a new Armenian white cucumber, and this is one of my favorites. It is disease resistant here, and it does very well. And these cucumbers can be picked at any stage for small burpless cucumbers when they're smaller. If you do grow them out, they will become a melon type squash, which I've never done that because I always just pick them when they're young and tender. But they seem to have a lot more disease resistance and grow really well here. And then this is one that I grew last year and probably previous to that as well. It is called the Spring Burpless. So it's kind of an Asian cucumber, and it's a 52-day to harvest. And then finally we picked up a corn, and this is the Jackpot Hybrid. It's 84 days, and I have not grown this one before. It is sweeter than other corns, and ears have 16 to 18 rows of white and yellow tender kernels, disease tolerant, which is one thing I look for, and it retains sweetness several days after picking, so it holds well for the sweet corn. So we'll be trying that out. And then getting on to the other items that I got from Lowe's, I picked up this Hygrometer Thermometer. I just recently got a new incubator to try out to do small scale hatching, just to be able to hatch out some of the broilers that I have growing out, and also to hatch out fresh laying hens this spring. It does not contain a hygrometer with it. It only does temperature control. So I picked this up for around $11, and it has a probe. It does indoor humidity, indoor temperature, humidity level icon, and high and low record. And then I picked up this thermometer for my greenhouse, my Dollar Tree thermometer that I've had in there for the last couple years. The mercury is not working in it properly anymore, so I picked this one up for about $2 from Lowe's, and it just is a temperature gauge with a suction cup. Alright, now we'll get into the fun stuff that we got for the garden from Lowe's. And then we'll go over the bulbs and things, the growing items, tubers and everything, and then finally I'll go over the fertilizers that I purchased. So they do have their potatoes and onions and flower bulbs out. I have a lot of potatoes in my greenhouse that I can use to start some new potatoes in the next month or two, but I went ahead and got a couple bags of their seed potatoes. They have the seed potatoes for $4.98, and basically they're $1 per potato because you get 5 potatoes in each bag, so it's not a huge deal. But I went ahead and picked these up because my feed store doesn't generally get their potatoes until February. Our general start date for potatoes here in our zone is Valentine's Day. So this is the Yukon Gold, which is not one that I can get at my feed store, and I got 2 of those. And then I got one red Norland, which is a white potato with a red skin, and these have grown, good for me in the past. My local feed store that I will get some more starts from has the white Kennebecks, which do better than any other potato here, and the red Pontiacs. So I just picked those up because I knew they wouldn't be available locally at my feed store. So I picked up a pack of white onion bulbs. So these are the bulbs. You get 50 for $4.98, and I picked up the white ones because I did another pack of these a couple of months ago, and I did purple, and the seeds that I have are for yellow onions and red onions, and buncheon onions. So I didn't have any seed for white onions, so I went ahead and picked up these. And then I also picked up in the flower section, I like to pick up at least one new package of lilies to add to my border garden. around my chicken pen in my garden. And last year I did tiger lilies, which came out so beautiful. And this year I'm going to be doing the Purple Dream. And this is an Asian lily, and you get 7 lily bulbs in this packet for $12.98. So that is the tubers and bulbs that I got from Lowe's. And then I got 2 fruit additions. I got another Arapahoe Thornless Blackberry, which I have one of these in my Blackberry garden already, and it does amazing. It's been out there for a couple of years, and I was just picking blackberries off of it a couple weeks ago. It was still producing because it's been so warm. But this one, as you can see, has already started. They also had an Ebony King Blackberry in the started, the bare roots like this, but it was not completely thornless. It was only mostly thornless, which I'm trying to stay away from the thorns in my blackberry garden. And then the second one that I got was a new raspberry, and that's a Latham raspberry. And the raspberry bush that I have out there now, it is a Williamette, and it is very, very bushy, and it is very thorny, and it didn't really do anything. It's been there since 2020, and it didn't really produce anything last year. Maybe in a couple years it will, but I wanted to, and I'm probably going to go back and pick up another one of these. But in my experience of growing raspberries in the past, you only need one plant because it multiplies itself in a small space, but we'll see. And then I did pick up a couple of fertilizers that I needed. I got a big bag of the Epsom salt, which this was, I think, around $10. Let's see. Oh yeah, so this was $9.49 for this big bag, and it is 7 pounds. And then I was looking for the Job's Organic Tomato Fertilizer. This was the only bag in the entire store. And let's see. Let's see what it said. It was $9.43 for 6 pounds of Job's Organic Tomato. And this is a 2-5-3. So 2 nitrogen, 5 phosphates, 3 potash, and then 7% calcium and magnesium. So that is one that I normally use all the time in my vegetable beds. And then I also picked up, I normally buy the Fish and Kelp from Amazon, and it's about $29.99. But I picked up this one. And I want to see how much it was here. This is the Alaska Fish. Anyways, I think this was $24.98. And it is a 511 fish fertilizer, and this is liquid that you would put a couple tablespoons into a gallon water and water your stuff. And like I said, I usually buy the Fish and Kelp from Amazon for about $30 for the same size gallon, but since I was there, I went ahead and picked it up. And then finally, from Lowe's, I picked up this Bloom Special Fertilizer, which I always pick it up whenever I find it. It is a 2-10-10, which means it has a lot of phosphorus and potassium for boosting bloom. And I use these in my container gardens for my flowers. And this is really great stuff. And that is it for Lowe's. I will be posting in a little while another video on my Dollar Tree garden haul and my Dollar Tree seeds, so go look for that. And I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll talk to you soon.